What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. It's Thursday, August 10th, and we are one day away from Washington's preseason opener at Cleveland tomorrow. Cleveland's expected to play their starters. We're expected to play ours. Sam Howell versus Deshaun Watson. I'm excited for that. We're going to preview the game on the channel tonight, live, 8 p.m. with my guy Josh Taylor from the JTFB YouTube channel. And all things what we're looking for in tomorrow's preseason game. But today, right now, we're talking about this guy, the Predator, 9'9", the generational talent. No more knee brace, no more restrictions, and the explosion looks back. So what would be a fair number of sack production fans should expect from one Chase Young in 2023? There's a few ways to look at this conversation because Chase Young missed the majority of last season. He had more than a normal ACL tear. You know, he had a lot going on there. And the 3 games he did come back, he didn't look like himself because you could tell the knee was still mentally weighing on his soul. You could tell he was thinking about every step he was taking. And the first part of making it back from an injury is to get back there mentally before you can get back there physically. I think Chase, from what I've seen in camp so far, his first step in his explosion appears to be back. And most importantly, his charisma, his body language, his mannerisms are back. Chase looks like himself because even in his second year when he was going through a bit of a sophomore slump, the body language was just as much of a problem as the lack of sack production. 1.5 sacks in his second year before tearing his ACL versus Tampa Bay. But what is a fair number of sacks we can expect from Chase Young in 2023? There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen on the Washington defensive line, but that is no excuse. Look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia should be the benchmark of what we should expect out of our defensive line, which has 4 first-round picks. Chase Young was the 2nd overall pick in the draft in 2020. You know what the Eagles did last year? They had 69 sacks. They had almost 70 sacks last year. They had 4 guys over 11 sacks, 3 with 11 and 1 with 16. Why not us? Why not Washington to repeat that? Because on paper, we have the most talented front in the league. Mind you, the defensive tackles we have are elite. They're going to open things up for both of these guys, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. And mind you, Chase Young and Montez Sweat are both playing for contracts this year. They're both in a contract year. So when you factor in the guys they play with, the fact that they're playing for big money, and the health stands out, it should be fair for fans to expect some of the sack production we expected when Chase was drafted here with the number 2 overall pick. Big 10 Defensive Player of the Year. 16.5 sack season while missing games his last year in college. 10.5 the year before. Bronco Nagurski Award winner. The Big Neric. He accomplished everything you could accomplish at Ohio State as a pass rusher. So being from the area, being drafted by the hometown team, he's been a star since he was in high school. You come in, win Rookie of the Year off rip, 7.5 sacks, and he missed a couple games as a rookie. So I think the floor for where we start at what Chase Young should be in sack-wise in 2023 should be his rookie year. The floor should be 7.5 sacks. Rational. Irrational, the ceiling should be what I predicted on our record prediction special as my bold prediction for the season, 16.5. So we're setting the floor at 7.5 sacks for Chase Young this year, and we're setting the ceiling at 16.5 sacks this year. So the sweet spot and the more realistic sack production will fall somewhere in between 7.5 and 16.5. So let's figure out what the sweet spot for Chase Young is. I've been looking at sack production for a lot of guys. I'm going to discount the Watt and the Bosa brothers because, well, one of the Bosa brothers, because Nick Bosa is he's just insane. And the Watt brothers, they have sack production that really no one in the history of the league really has. But take away Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack's best season, then their next best season's around what? 11 sacks, 10 and a half. Joey Bosa's high in a season is 12 and a half sacks, but they're consistent. They get 9, 10 sacks religiously. We should be able to bare minimum expect that out of Chase Young this year. I want double-digit sacks, man. I know the guy we drafted, and I'm going to hold him to that standard. With these players, we got to hold them to standards like they're our children, bro. We want the best out of our children. We can't sit there and put up with them giving us the bare minimum when we know they're capable of more. And Chase Young oozes of natural talent, oozes of God-given ability. He is more than capable of double-digit sacks on a regular basis. And if his explosion is as back as it looks in training camp, sky's the limit, and there's no reason why we should put a cap or a ceiling on what he's capable of. So I'm looking at these Eagles numbers from last year. Like, they're absurd. Hassan Reddick, who damn near before getting to Philadelphia, there were conversations of, is this guy a draft bust? Because he was being played out of position in Arizona. Even made a stop somewhere else before. Hassan Reddick, 16 sacks. Brandon Graham, 11 sacks. Javon Hargrave, 11 sacks. Josh Sweat, 11 sacks. Fletcher Cox, 7 sacks. Milton Williams, 4 sacks. That is crazy. All from one unit. So tell me again why Chase Young and Montez Sweat can't both be in double-digit sacks this year, while Payne and Allen are also flirting with or also in double-digit sacks this year. Why can't all 4 of our guys do what Philadelphia's guy did? Yeah, their scheme is good. They have great coaching. They have a new defensive coordinator now, but Jack's had these guys for 4 years now. Why not Washington? Why not us? But when I look at these numbers, I think realistically speaking, 10 and a half to 12 sacks. Let's call it 11 sacks. 11 sacks is the most realistic number for Chase Young in 2023. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think. What is the most realistic number for sacks for Chase Young in 2023? And should the ceiling and floor be what I have? I got the floor at 7.5 sacks because that's what he showed us at his best his rookie year. And the ceiling, 16.5. That is my drinking the Kool-Aid, ridiculous, bold prediction. But I think Chase is fully capable, and I think it would be disrespectful to him to say that 16.5 is too lofty a number to expect from the guy. 9 sacks so far, but you know he's missed significant amount of time. How many sacks is Chase Young going to get in 2023? I'm sticking with my bold prediction. I don't care how crazy or lofty it sounds. 16.5 for Chase. He got to give me at least 7.5. I mean, if he's forcing turnovers, wrecking games, and being disruptive, the sack number doesn't matter. But in a year where you're trying to get the bag and secure a long-term contract and possibly reset the edge market, because you know these edge guys are making quarterback money, I believe Chase and the whole Young family expects his sack number to be in the double-digit variety for 2023. Let me know what you think about Chase Young in 2023. Holla at your boy. Game preview, Browns versus Commanders tonight at 8 p.m. Pull up and hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio, out.